Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. My name is The Final Anomaly, and today I bring you a budget Endymion deck. Thanks to Shadow, he is of course here with us today.
Hello everyone, the Endymion hamster is here.
And so thanks to him, we do have a budget Endymion deck. I do want to say, y'all, there's probably going to be a little bit of criticism in the comment section. Just keep in mind, you can change this up as much as you want. Our goal was to make this as budget as possible, but as competitive as possible. At least late platinum, early diamond, maybe even getting into master rank, because the board, it's pretty close to the full power. Just the options in full power are better because they are URs. So there is a few rules that we followed. 5 URs in the main deck, 5 URs in the extra deck. Now we did exclude the staples you should already be running. So we do have 2 Called by the Graves that don't count as part of that 5. And then we do have the Spellbook engine because it's only 500 gems. So that's also not going to be counted because you do get 4 URs that will be added to 1, the extra deck, and 3 in the main deck as part of this for the 500 gems. So what we're going to do first is let's just take it into rank. We are Diamond 4. I normally run ABC, so little quick plug if y'all want to watch that. And then we're doing an Endymion to Master Rank series as well, where we go from rookie all the way to Master Rank. Make sure to follow that series as well. We're just going to get right into Diamond 4 just to show you that this budget deck is most definitely capable in at least the, I mean, this is pretty close to the high ranks. We're only just a few steps away from Master Rank. So we won the coin toss, which is awesome. Endymions does want to win the coin tosses, but it can most definitely go second. And if you want to see gameplay of this deck going second and just destroying through Max C, there's videos in the channel and also in the description. Go check out Shadow. So I'm going to go ahead and do the plays, but Shadow is going to walk me through this. And we actually have the Ultra Max C, so GG's too easy. Shadow, what do we got?
I think we got what the original deck list looks like. This looks like everything you need.
Okay, so yeah, this hand does look like if we were playing full power Endymions, but this is in fact budget Endymions.
First thing I would say is Servant, and then you go Secrets. You don't have to worry about Ash because of Called By.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and play Servant here. Yeah. Then we're going to go Secrets.
Yeah.
Okay, no, nothing. There's nothing there.
Perfect time to show how this deck shines.
Okay, blue
the
book?
Blue Boy.
All right, we're going to go ahead and do Blue Book.
Yep.
A Blue Book, Blue Boy. Okay, it's late, it's late.
Your lateness is showing too. It was some of the Blue Book.
The Blue Book, all right. Oh, we're summoning Blue Boy.
The Blue Book now.
The Blue Book. All right.
Okay, add knowledge. It looks like he's got nothing. So
yeah, there's no. He's gonna surrender.
Knowledge here. Hopefully he doesn't. We gotta show this off.
Yeah, we're gonna go knowledge.
Draw 2.
Okay. All right.
Good. I would say void now.
Into the void? Okay, we're gonna go into the void.
Yes. You also got your double pedalums too, so you can do the. Nice. Okay. So Servant effect.
Okay, we're gonna activate Servant.
I get out Endymion. You already have a Jack King.
Okay.
Doesn't matter which zones, because you're gonna probably just go into Electromite right now.
Alright, so we're gonna go into Electromite?
Yeah, Electromite.
Okay. So Electromite?
You also have Beastray, that's really good for you. Electromite. I would say add Magister.
Okay, we're gonna add Magister.
Magister.
The shiny Magister.
Yeah, the shiny Magister. Activate Servant.
Okay, we're gonna add Servant again.
Yep. Now activate Jackal King, and Electromite pop the Jackal King to add back Magister. No. Jackal King.
Oh, I almost messed that up. I'm glad I misclicked. Okay.
Yeah.
So Jackal King?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. You just would have had a weaker end board. Now Electromite pop the Jackal King on the right.
Okay, activate Electromite.
Pop Jackal King, add back Magister.
We're gonna add back the shiny Magister.
The shiny Magister, exactly. We could draw.
Oh, okay.
Double Call By. Okay, sure. Activate Magister.
More disruptions. Okay.
Now you can actually pen someone right now.
Alright, we're gonna pen
You
someone.
have enough to negate Nib as well. Someone out in DB in the middle.
Okay. Wait, I can't.
Yes, you can.
Oh, in the middle.
Yeah.
I'm sleepy. Alright.
It's okay. This is a really good showcase here.
Right.
Beastray on Magister.
Magister, okay.
Yes. 2 counters. This is just to make sure you have enough counters for everything. Electromite and a DB now can go into Celine.
Okay, Electromite and Endymion into Celine.
Yes.
Right or left? Right, yeah, because of the arrows.
That is right.
Okay.
Now you can Magister effect as well. Cancel.
Okay, Magister.
Yep, Magister. Endymion. And do you know about that big brain play with the Endymion to get more counters?
Uh-huh.
You don't really need to do that right now, but like it's an option if you want to get just a few more counters.
Up
So,
to
yeah,
you. Whatever you
Magister-
think is going to be the best showcase for the
It's best
viewers.
to do that. So just activate Jackal and then negate it with the Endymion by bouncing Servant.
Activate Jackal.
Okay, well your toggle's not on.
Oh. Well, it's
Okay,
fine.
it's fine. This would have been an extra negate.
Okay.
What's in your graveyard?
In my graveyard, Into the Void for sure.
It's Blue Boy, right? Yeah. It's fine. Okay, so if Anam didn't do that misplay here, he doesn't have Self Chain on, but Jackal would have been able to be summoned off of Selene, and Selene would have been able, Jackal could then summon out the second Jackal King. So it would have been 2 Jackal King, Endymion, Magister, and Selene. Magister can get out Reflection or Endymion. So it would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 negates with the monsters, and then 2 extra negates with called by. So a 7 negate board. Right now it's just a 6 negate board.
We have 1 less negate because I didn't toggle on so that I could. Essentially, the plan was to negate the card, then bounce, and then have another negate.
Yeah,
so that's. If you guys want to know that play, we've done it a few times in the other videos, and you can always ask. Shadow's always happy to explain. But we would have essentially you negate your own card to bounce back, get an extra negate. But my toggle wasn't on, so I couldn't do that.
So just set the called buys. Oh, now your toggle's on.
Yo, I turned it on because it's too late now. But
Yeah, now
All
just
right.
pass here.
okay. And this is still a decent board. This is 4 negates. 4 negates and
and
2 called buys. So it's 6 potential disruptions. The
Yeah.
reason it's 6 negates or 4 negates is because we got a spell and trap negate, we got an effect negate, we have an option with Selene and then Magister. What is this?
You can summon out either
Either
Jack
or?
Ring or Endymion,
Okay.
or Reflection to bounce.
Okay, so we either have a bounce, an extra spell or trap negate or effect negate, 1 spell and trap negate and 1 effect negate. So there's and then we have the called by the grave. So this is still pretty good. Depending on what they play is what we're gonna choose to add. Oh,
And
okay.
I had a feeling. It's
Okay.
going to start with a Super Quality. What's the deck?
it's gonna be
Oh. Honestly,
You
Called
got
by
it.
really cooks this deck.
yeah, okay. So let me turn my toggle on. Okay,
I wouldn't say don't use Magister yet,
not yet. Okay,
because they like to go into SP as well, so you might need to cancel.
okay. Now this is one of the decks that's being used very heavily in rank, y'all. So I think it's a pretty good showcase, and we would have had that extra negate, which probably would have guaranteed the win here. Now I'm a little bit on edge just because I did kind of mess up that extra negate.
This is probably a
Assuming
good call
we
by
called
here
by,
as
right?
well.
We're gonna go
Yeah,
and
definitely
activate
called
called by here.
Yeah.
So that card is out of commission.
Yep. Also, that's the card they want to summon off of Samsara Lotus. So basically, it's like, nope, cancel. Basically, even if they use Samsara Lotus to try to summon out Yubel, it's not going to do anything for them.
So unfortunately, even though we got a good board out, called by the grave may just win this by itself. Okay.
Okay. Now you can Magister here.
Okay. Activate Magister.
Move the counters from Selene.
Okay. We're going for Endymion?
Reflection. No,
Or,
Reflection.
we're gonna bounce.
Yep, because that will force out Magister to the hand, so that Selene can summon it back on the field and get you another negate anyway.
So reflection?
Yeah, Reflection.
Okay. This won't give
I'll
him
probably
this.
say Magister bounce the level 2. That's gonna give him the extra. Yep.
Activate reflection.
Keep your toggle. Yep. Yep. Activate Reflection.
Okay.
Make sure you keep your toggle on because you need to
Send
summon out
Magister?
Demon again. Yep. Bounce Magister
Okay.
and his level 2, his main deck monster.
You won't get the special summon again, right?
He won't. You gotta, ooh. Oh, I know what that is. He's got another super quality.
Oh, okay.
No, don't use Selene yet. Now you can Selene here.
Okay.
Move from himself. I think he's got another super volley.
Yeah.
I really do. Magister. What attribute is Gurura?
Dark.
Okay.
So you could Super Poly again.
He could Super Poly Gura and Endymion, potentially.
Okay.
I cancel. That's not going to do anything for you at the moment.
Okay. So we know he's got Super Poly and that level 2 monster. He's got a second level 2 monster. So Super Poly, 2 level 2 monsters. We just don't know what one of the cards is. Oh, it's not Super... Well, no, that's probably the card we don't know.
Yubel is also negated still. Cancel, I would say. Just because he's not going to do anything to summon right now. You want to summon before he activates.
Okay. That's
He wants to get out Phantom. He wants to get out Phantom. Cancel.
Okay.
I don't think I would have used it yet. You can still use Call by on the second. This would have been also when another Jocking would have been really helpful too. Is that?
Okay. We could call by this, right?
Yeah, you can Call by Phantom, but I think it's just a link to away or something. If he actually uses the Spirit, now you can actually summon out.
Oh, because the Super Poly's gone.
First.
And if Super Poly's in his hand, it's no good.
Until he draws, but off with the Garura. Go get Magistrat now. Sorry,
Okay.
Jackal King out. Move the counter from Celine.
Okay, we're going Jackal King?
And yeah, and Servant.
Oh, well.
And Servant.
Okay.
Yep, get out Jackal King.
Are we gonna call by this if he negates?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because he also gets an added effect. Okay. We're gonna call by this.
Yes. He wants to link it to his Unchained engine.
It's probably not Super Poly.
No, it's got to be Super Poly.
He toggled.
Because there was no toggle until we had 2 light spellcasters with the same attribute defense.
King, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'll turn toggle off here because we have 14 seconds.
If he goes into the link monster, you gotta negate that though. Like he might just go into SP. Because his best strategy here was probably to link to SP and then get that draw with Guru so he could use Super Poly. But even so, you still got a lot of good stuff.
Okay.
Oh, what's it gonna go for?
Do we negate
I
it?
don't think you should. Actually, yes.
Because he doesn't have anything else, right?
Yeah. Move from Servant. I was gonna say no because Spirit of Yubel is already negated. But honestly, if he doesn't have an extra monster
See,
on
look,
the field,
he's got toggle. He has something.
I wonder what that is.
So it's not Super Poly. Let's hope it's not. Okay. Maybe he wants to draw. Yeah. He wants to draw.
But also no battle phase, so no losing.
Okay.
Yeah, the reason why you negate that, even though the monster you summon is not good, keeping the monsters off his field is very important. Because in doing so, he can't go for SP Little Knight. He can go for his Unchained Engine.
Okay. If this is Super Poly, let's hope he doesn't play Quintet.
He doesn't have enough for that. That's 4.
He's Rage Quit. Okay.
Oh, that's a good
Never
showcase
mind.
though.
Okay. I thought he Rage Quit. Alright, what do we got?
Alright. You can still Servant to summon out another Endymion. If it's Super Poly, it's still fine. Yep. Yep, Endymion. The zones don't really matter at this point.
We just go for game? We have game here, don't we?
Yeah, you could probably go for game.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Well,
There we go.
y'all, I think that was a really incredible showcase. We went through Super Poly. We are playing one of the top, I think this is one of the top tier decks. At least it's a deck that a lot of people are using in these ranks, especially in the Duelist Cup. Guys, this is budget Endymions. Though, to be fair, the hand we got was almost like a non-budget, but it's still budget Endymions that's being used in here. So, y'all pick up Endymions. I think this was a great showcase. If you have any more questions, we were also one less negate that we should have had because I didn't have toggle on. So, keep that in mind. Again, ask in the comment section if you have any questions. But this is budget Endymions. All right, for the combo, we're going to go into solo mode. We're just going to freestyle the combo because that is what Endymions does. It's not 100% linear. So whatever we get is just we're gonna go with it and see what we produce here. You already saw that we got 5, potentially 6 negates out on the actual rank match. And so let's see what we can produce here. Shadow, I do see that we have Cerberus. Let me know what we're going first.
Yeah. So yeah, we're going first here. So this hand is very like usually bizarre. We might have to do a different strategy here, but this is probably for the best. I would say probably the best thing to do is to go Cerberus first.
Okay.
And pop it to get Jackal King.
Okay.
So where you can guarantee getting another 2 pendulums on the field.
Jackal King? Okay.
Yes, Jackal King. Now Jack can get activate to summon out the Cerberus.
Okay.
And yep. Without Cerberus.
Okay.
Yep, here you can normal summon Garuda and then link it to Electromite.
Okay. Normal summon Garuda.
Mm-hmm.
Link into Electromite?
Yes.
I was about to say Electric Mite.
Electrical Warrior.
Best waifu?
Yes, very true.
Okay.
You could probably just put another negate in the extra deck. I would probably say go for a Endymion.
Okay. Endymion?
Yep. Now you can activate Abductor.
Abductor?
Yes. Then spell Power Grasp onto the Abductor.
So Power Grasp.
Mm-hmm. Add another one. That's going to be popping fodder later on for Endymion. You could activate the Endymion into scale. From here, you could actually use Abductor to search the other negate.
Okay.
Jackal King.
So Jackal King. Oh, that's not Medusa. Jackal King.
And right now, you can play into Nib, but if there is no Nib, you get a much stronger board. Do you want to just risk it because it's much stronger the other way?
You can't play around Nib, but this is solo mode. This is just to show you the potential.
Yeah.
We're not gonna pretend we're playing around Nib for this one, but
you can play around Nib. Yeah, like if you Electromite pop Endymion and add back, you can potentially get another card that holds counters. And if you do that, you could get 2 counters in the Abductor. Or you could also just not use Abductor's effect to search and keep those counters, so that when you pendulum someone out, what do you call it? When you pendulum someone out, you would still have enough counters to negate Nib. But this is just a stronger unboard to do this way. So right now you're gonna pendulum someone out.
Okay, pendulum summon. Mighty Hamster.
Mighty Hamster, tragic. Yes. Now you can use Electromite effect.
Pop Abductor.
And Polypop. But the reason to pop Abductor is that if you draw into more cards that can put counters, you can get another search. But right now you already pendulum summon, so it's probably best just to pop Endymion.
Okay, pop Endymion.
And add him back. You get an extra draw here and extra activations.
Okay. Okay.
Did you normal summon yet? Yes, you did. You can activate Endymion. I'm sorry. Activate the Endymion. And then you can use Secrets.
Okay.
Did you use Into the Void at all?
I did not, I don't think. Nope.
1 spell card. Yep. You can just add Blue Void for next turn.
Okay.
And then you can set the spell Power Grasp. And now you could actually use Endymion's effect to remove the counters to summon and pop the spell Power Grasp. So 3 from each Jackal King.
Activate.
Yes.
Okay.
Cancel.
Alright.
Give out the grasp here.
Decide?
And decide. Yes. So this is 4 negates and a draw during the opponent's turn with Electromite, so extra follow-up. Theoretically, you can draw into like a Garuda, which is another disruption, but that's still 1 card out of your deck. This is still 2 spell trap negates and 2 monster negates. Now you could link 1 negate into Celine and get a situational negate, but this is probably just safer to add on.
Okay, so 2 spell trap negates, 2 effect negates, y'all. Just a quick combo to show you. Again, it's all mainly just freestyle, and then there's follow-up here. The budget Endymion deck. We're just going to go over it really quick, have Shadow kind of explain a little bit, maybe what's the reason behind it and what it's replacing. So we do have Blue Boy, of course. This is for your spellbook engine, essentially the draw 2. It's also a water monster, so you could have a play maybe for your water charmer. Then we also have the Mythical Beast Jackal.
So Jackal is one of your main starters. He's actually incredibly easy to search because any card that holds a counter plus Institution can get you Jackal. And you don't got to worry about having Jackal and Blue Boy in your opening hand because you can still pop Jackal and summon it back with Jackal King or Magister and Jocko gets you your monster negate really fast, so you don't have to worry about Nib, and sometimes you don't have to worry about Duel.
Then we have Magister of Endymion.
Magister is great. People think that he's just a high scale. No, he's basically a double negate. He's just a little bit of a delayed servant. But Magister can get you an extra negate from your extra deck, like a secondary Pendulum Summon, and also during your opponent's turn, he could get another negate from your deck. You may think, oh, you gotta wait till your opponent's turn. It's basically just setting up disruption, so Magister's opponent's turn effect does not really matter. It's still another negate.
And then we have, of course, Servant of Endymion.
Both an extender and a starter, but basically you want to see Servant very soon, so that you can use her effect to get out either Endymion or Jacko King, so you can go into Electromite, or you could also link away Servant and anything else, and use that Jacko King or Endymion to play one of hand traps. Also, she's not once per turn, so if you want to bait an Ash Blossom, you want to actually bait it out with Servant, so that you can get your other spell cards to give her enough counters to trigger her yet again.
Then we have Magical Abductor.
She's pretty good for fixing your Pendulum Summon if you only have one Pendulum, so that if Electromite pops a card, you can add a back Abductor, trigger her off of Citadel to get a high scale, and then Pendulum Summon. She's also good for starters if you have Citadel and Abductor early on. Abductor switches out Servant, and then Servant gets triggered off of Citadel. Just be warned, you cannot use Abductor with your Mythical Beasts. They are very detrimental if you have them both in the scale.
Mythical Beast Garuda.
Garuda is basically your utility against back row. If you're going second, if you want to get rid of a back row, you can use it. He's also pretty good for being a hand trap. You can play around a Zeus summon by using him. You just can't use him when you use into the board. And if you find yourself not really needing him, Electromite can still pop him to add back anything else.
And then we don't have Medusa. This is Mythical Beast Basilisk.
Basilisk is awesome. He's saved me so many times in plenty of games. If people ask, is he going to be a brick? Like, if he's in the hand, you just pop him in to get to draw. But you could also utilize him for getting Mythical Beasts back in the extra deck, so you have more popping fodder for Electromite. So if you are very low on Pendulums, he actually saves you in that regard. He actually gets the Mythical Beast back in the extra deck, so that Celine can summon it back on the field. And if you're running the Chaos Angel, you could even summon Chaos Angel using him and Jacko King, both light and dark for both protection.
Check out the full power Endymions. We also have Mythical Beast Jacko King.
One of your half your negates here. Basically summon him as soon as possible, and you can play around most of your opponent's, like all their hand traps. Also going second, you want to summon him if your opponent has a lot of disruption that you need to play through. Jacko King basically holds the negate against them, so that you can't actually. So he's basically safe on the field, and you can do your plays normally.
And then we have the big boss monster, Endymion, the mighty hamster of magic.
Crazy card, honestly. So much card text. Most card text in the game, as a matter of fact. If you just want a summary, scale effect, remove 6 counters, pop your opponent's board, monster effect, he negates spell trap cards by bouncing cards. He also can be target destroyed by card effects, and he floats into a normal spell if he's got a counter and destroy by battle. Essentially, you use him as a high scale. You also use him basically to play around the meta. He is the reason why this deck can play second against the meta, because everything is all monster disruptions, and then Endymion just goes, oh, I'm a spell effect, I'll pop everything, and I'll do it, then I'll do everything. So basically, he's just amazing, worth all that card text. Use him.
Reflection of Endymion.
She's pretty good for outing boards, to be honest. If you're going second, you could actually utilize her to bounce a problematic card your opponent controls, and also get a reuse of a card you control, like Abductor or even Institution. And going first, if she's in your deck, you end on Magister, you could actually summon her from the deck to get a quick bounce. So if your opponent tries to go battle phase with an X or Z monster, you could legit, in the battle phase, use Magister to summon Reflection and bounce the X or Z monster, so you don't actually have to worry about Zeus anymore if you just end with Magister on the board. So she is very good in that regard.
Then we have Mythical Beast Master Cerberus. This card looks freaking awesome. It's probably one of my favorite cards. I just think it looks really cool.
He is definitely very cool. He's a really good starter. Unfortunately, he was really bad to have more than one in the hand. Real life, I want more than one, but with the Master Duel Shuffler, I don't trust to get double copies of him. He's fine at one. I draw him anyway. He can pop stuff to add Jacko King or Basilisk, and Basilisk, it sets up Basilisk to draw a card already. He can also, if he adds Jacko King, just pop Jacko King to summon himself and get an extra material for Electromite. He also can't be destroyed by card effects, so if you don't have anything you really want to pop with Endymion, you can still pop Cerberus and not really pop him because he's protected. And he also gets to banish opponent's card for removal as a softness return. So if you actually banish a card and then link him away and add him back with Basilisk to summon back with Celine, you can banish yet again, and you can just keep on recycling that.
And then we have Toon Table of Contents, and I will say this is replacing the Upstart Goblin. You want to run Upstart Goblin in the full If you don't have a
For
budget,
sure.
full power. But Shadow,
hmm
explain why this specifically.
So the main thing that you're supposed to use Upstrike Goblin for is that you're supposed to get counters in your board and not go minus if your cards. A lot of the times you use Upstrike and you draw into another Upstrike, use that to draw into more. And reason is you just want to get more counters in Servant and Abductor. Doing Table of Contents kind of does what Upstrike does, just not as good. It's basically Upstrike Goblin at home.
Then we have Spell Power Grasp.
So Power Grasp, definitely, I removed the card from the deck when I added in the Spellbook engine, but it still can be utilized, getting those counters early on, because honestly the hardest part of the deck is getting enough counters in your scales to start popping off. People think this card looks a lot like Mastery, so when they see it, they're really likely to ash it, because it does have that effect to add another Spell Power Grasp from deck to hand. But also, since it adds itself from deck to hand as well, it's really good popping fodder later on in the turn. If you want to use Endymion to summon itself and pop a card, that Spell Power Grasp sets up really well for that. So it's still a decent card, I'd say.
We have Into the Void.
Into the Void is basically like Upstrike Goblin. It's just a little bit worse. You just gotta make sure you use those cards first. Just draw extra card, and you don't lose any advantage at all. You just keep getting counters for absolute free. But just do remember that you lose your hand at the end phase, so always check your graveyard before ending your turn to make sure if you used Void. And if you haven't, keep the cards in your hand. You can use it for follow-up or to trick your opponent into thinking you have hand traps, which makes them play even safer and makes it easier to negate their stuff.
Of course, we already kind of went over this, the Spellbook of Secrets for the Spellbook engine. Pot of Desires.
Yep, we got a Pot of Desires, then -10. Not really. He's helped me out a lot of times. If you can't, draw into any more, if you just add a roadblock and you have Desires, it's going to help you. And if you can extend more without Desires, extend as much as you can without it, and then use Desires as a follow-up. I've been using it at 1 even when it was at 2 or 3, because I do not like drawing into more than one copy of it. And just like Cerberus, Master Duel keeps putting it in my hand, like, a lot. So you just want to make sure you get as much negates out of your deck, as many negates as possible before using Desires, so that you don't banish them, because this deck can banish every card except the theoretically banish everything except the negates and still be fine. So as long as you don't banish your Jackings and Endymions, can banish everything else and you'll still be okay.
I will say those odds may increase given that we're only running 2 Jackal Kings and 2 Endymions, so want to be a little bit mindful of that. Normally the full power one runs 3 of each of those. Spellbook of Knowledge, of course, Spellbook Engine, and then we have Spell Power Mastery.
Mastery is a great card as well. Any hand with Mastery in it is a good hand. It gets you your Endymion cards. You can also put any Cardos in cards. Just Serve it and Mastery together is just basically this deck doesn't want any 1-card combos, but this Mastery and Serve it is a 2-card combo into a lot of deals. So Mastery is very good in that regard.
Magical Citadel of Endymion.
Field Spell, it's actually like a 20-year-old card, honestly. Honestly, it's a 15-year-old card. It's crazy old, but it's still very good. It stores all your counters. It keeps getting counters. If a card is destroyed, it gets the counters. You could also use it to once per turn to cheat out one of your Servant or Magistrate or Abductor effects, and then it protects itself. It's 4 effects into 1. It's really good in case Servant gets negated. And also, it's excellent for follow-up, because if you keep it on the field and protect all your counters, and your opponent actually breaks your board, you could actually trigger any of your scales immediately using Citadel and get right back in the game like that. I've used it all the time to use Abductor to get Endymion, and Endymion pop, because I have like 15 counters in Citadel, or even more. It's just all around a great card.
Then we have Mythical Institution.
It's Institution. I often say I'd run 4 of this card if I could, because it's that good. And people say stuff like, well, what happens if you draw 3 of them? I'm like, yeah, if I draw 3 of them, I still combo off, usually. It protects itself just like Citadel if it's got a counter. It doesn't gain any counters on spell activations, but still gets the counters on Mythical Beast destructions, which happens quite often with the scale effects. And its main effect is to remove 3 counters to Servant, which 1 Jackal popping itself to put counters Institution can do that. But you can search basically whatever you need. I've used it a lot to search Servant. Even searched Endymion, another negate in it of itself. And a lot of the times they actually negate my own card by bouncing Institution to get another activation on it, because it's a soft monster turn. So Institution is amazing in that regard too.
Then we have Mythical Bestiary.
Bestiary, a little bit of a love-hate relationship. It's awesome at 1, but you don't want to see more than 1 copy of it. It helps you. It's basically like Citadel in the regards that it lets you cheat out a card effect. Like Servant of Magistrate, plenty of times that I search Magistrate without any card activations, but then I have Bestiary, so I can immediately trigger it. Be sure it also has a floating effect like Waken the Dragons, which actually happens a lot more than you might think. People pop it all the time using stuff like Axis Code Talker or Ambler Whale. Or the Fire King Ponix, they pop it a lot. So it's really good for, staying in the duel in case you don't have enough counters. And also, if you draw too many of them, set it as a disruption, and you can still get 2 negates from the deck if you do have 2 of them. Because if it's popped, you get another negate, and it gets the counters on it immediately.
Then, of course, the 2 staples that we did not count towards the UR count, Called by the Grave. Now, unfortunately, because we were limited to the amount of URs, we can't have it at 27 for this one. But you know what Called by the Grave
it's at
does.
15 now.
Yeah. If you are budgeting, just don't add it. So let's go ahead and go into the extra deck. Now, just really quick, y'all, so that I can shorten down the video. The Charmers are pretty much there for link climbing, get you into your goddess or your access code, maybe even trying to get something out of the grave. The main cards that you do want to play are going to be Artemis.
Artemis is very important. People often ask, why is Artemis there? And actually, Artemis was costed us a duel on one port. You need to have Artemis in the extra deck because Knowledge can only send to the graveyard, and Pedlums cannot go to the graveyard.
And then we have Crowley, the first I'm not even going to read that. Crowley.
Crowley is very important. Honestly, a lot of the times when I use Servant Effect, if I don't have any like Pedlums at all, like because Electromite's pretty good for storing Pedlums and then Pedlum summoning, but if you don't actually have any Pedlums to really go for, and you still have a normal summon, keep that in mind, you can link it to Crowley, get a draw 2, and dig even further into your deck. Also, if you get hands with only Pedlums inside them, without any spells at all, if you have a high and low scale, you can Pedlum summon them and link it to Crowley to guarantee spell card activation. Secrets and Blue Boy what you want to get because that's 2, but Knowledge you can still send Crowley and get 2 draws as well. And in doing so, if you have Servant Magister there, you can still pop off and go to Electromite without even and still get 4 to 5 negates even after a full Pedlum summon. Electromite, just like essentially, Electromite is your consistency booster. It's not like she is extremely necessary that the deck cannot function without her. It's just that with whatever hands you get, you always have that safe option to go for Electromite. There are actually some hands that you don't even need to summon Electromite, and you can still get 5 negates out. But Electromite is just there saying, why not? It's an extra 2 negates just in case you don't get what you need. Just any 2 Pedlums on the field without Pedlum summoning gets you her, which allows you to fix your scales and get a draw 1. And fixing the scales is honestly the most important thing for me. An extra Pedlum is pretty good. An extra draw is pretty good, but I honestly just like fixing my scales and setting up for a Pedlum summon. And she also has 2 arrows. She does a lot for the deck.
So we have the Wind Charmer.
You can summon it with Servant,
the Earth Charmer,
Magister, and Abductor.
The Water Charmer
with Blue Book.
The Light Charmer.
Summon her with Bastisk, Cerberus, and Guida, or Artemis.
The Dark Charmer.
The Endymion with the Jackal King and with Jackal.
And of course, these are to rank climb into the access code, the goddess, or maybe to get something out of the opponent's deck. And then lastly, we have Selene.
Selene, basically, you can usually give up a negate to summon her, which is another negate. So you're kind of going net even with them. She gets you a bunch of counters on activation, on summon, which isn't once per turn, if you want to have another copy of her. And then Endymion, you usually need 6 counters, which you can do to summon her. She also is a quick effect summon from hand or graveyard, which is not just for link climbing. People, come on, give us some respect. She is an extra negate, because if you use Endymion to bounce back a card that already negated, you could actually use Selene to summon her back on the field. So if Jackal King negated and you use Endymion to bounce it back, Selene summons it back. Or if you use Endymion to bounce himself to the hand, Selene summons it back on the field to negate and destroy anything. So it's an extra negate for that. But do know that if you use Endymion, you cannot bounce Selene to the extra deck to negate, because Endymion has to bounce to the hand. So like I said before, it will give you the option to bounce Selene, but don't do that because you will actually negate the card.
This is the budget Endymions. I think it's fairly budget and fairly competitive, so if you're trying to pick this deck up, this is probably a good start. Again, check out the full power because the extra deck is actually full, and there's a bunch more URs that are a lot stronger, and the deck is probably 2 or 3 times as strong in the full power Endymion. So make sure to check that out. Check out the Endymion Master Rank, y'all. Shadow's information will be in the description down below as well. Show them some love, show me some love. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you guys have any critiques, any comments, any feedback, it's all appreciated. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, the whole jazz. Thank y'all, love y'all, and I'll catch you on the next one.